I just associate summer with youth, and it's just kind of the most carefree time of the year, I would say. And that's kind of the sentiment that I wanted to capture in this song, just kind of celebrating these lovers as sort of their youth together. I was just sort of given a very small brief of like, hey, you know, Shang-Chi, his mom and dad love each other. Can you write like some kind of love song? And at that point, I had made 5 to 7 ideas, and we were sort of at the tail end of the process. And my boyfriend and I, who produced, Jacob Ray, who produced this song, we had been listening to a lot of Barry White. And we were just super inspired. We had nothing to lose. And we were like, let's kind of make a throwback sort of vibe. 18, we were undergrad, stayed out late, never made it to class. Out of Richmond in a taxi cab, you were sweating bullets on the way to my dad's, and oh, you said, baby, think we're moving too fast. My boyfriend currently is the first boyfriend that I ever really was like, hey dad, this is who I'm dating. And that was really interesting, obviously, for everyone involved. So the way I broke it to my dad is actually really interesting. My dad and my entire family, they were in town for Head in the Clouds 2 in 2019, and that's when I had just started dating Jacob. And my roommate Abby and I, we had made a reservation at Parks Barbecue, or Korean Barbecue in K-Town. I'm like, okay, this is where we're gonna meet. And I literally invited 4 other friends to soften the blow and cut the tension. And I was like, let's just make this like a fun get together with everyone to lessen the pressure. And me and Abby, my roommate, literally, we made like a seating arrangement. We're like, okay, dad's gonna sit here, Jacob's gonna sit here, and I'm gonna sit, and everyone had an arranged like seating position. Obviously, nobody catered to that because everyone panicked in the moment, but it went great. Afterwards, my dad was like, he's a decent guy, I can tell. And then now they're best buds. And I swear the magnolias flashed a smile. And that's when it caught me, hoping you'd stay a while. I was given the brief of, you know, these 2 parents falling in love, and that's all I knew. I didn't know anything else. I knew the story was kind of set in San Francisco. And so I just kind of imagined these 2 Asian American lovers in the 80s in the summertime, what their anthem would be whilst they were falling in love. And obviously I tried to tie everything together into a single narrative. And so I literally Googled what flowers grow in San Francisco. And it said magnolias. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cute. And so that's where that came from. I wish it were more sincere, but I literally just Googled San Francisco common flower. So there you go. Baby, I'd give up anything to travel inside your mind. Baby, I'll fall in love again come every summertime. My daddy told me to choose them wisely, but you don't have to try. 'Cause baby, I'll fall in love every summertime. I love my dad. We have a really solid and just awesome relationship, and I'm very blessed to say that. The best advice he ever gave me is like, always pursue, you know, things that nourish you and also bring you happiness, because there's nothing worse than living life and going to work and hating what you do. When I heard him say that, I really expected him to be completely against, you know, this chosen career path of mine to get into music because it's not very traditional. Is it even a real job? After a little bit of resistance in the beginning, he did come around, and he was like, you know what? I can really see that this makes you happy, and as long as you're passionate about it, that's all that matters, because You gotta be happy in life, man. 25 men were missing church. Laugh about everyone we're hating at work. Dinner with your sister and the jokes kinda hurt. Cry the way home and you're putting me first. Oh, yeah. You just always know what to say. That line, I think, is based on a lot of rom-coms I've seen where, you know, you meet the family and it doesn't go as planned. And, yeah, that dinner with your sister and the jokes kind of hurt, sort of just imagining how, you know, this girl meets with her boyfriend's sister and she was just being really cutting or super critical, whatever. And then actually the line that follows after is sort of what makes it for me, which is cry the way home and you're putting me first. I feel like those two lines set up the story to, like, they go together. And essentially the main clincher of that sentiment is somebody putting you first, right? Because I think I saw this Modern Family episode recently where it was Mitchell and Cam, and basically Cameron was taking his family side over Mitchell's side, and it was this hilarious, ridiculous storyline. But essentially, I think we all have that tendency of kind of being torn between our family and maybe our significant other, whatever, in whatever capacity that means. And so when they put you first, when somebody puts you first and prioritizes you, I think that is such a underrated thing and concept, like somebody prioritizing you. I think, I don't hear about that a lot because we hear a lot about prioritizing ourselves, but when somebody else does it, it's awesome. Strolling down the boulevard and dancing under street lights, all the lights. Every year we get older and I'm still on your side. Oh, there's nothing like an old friend, right? It's like you can't really make old friends as you grow. And so anytime I'm just kind of feeling down or, yeah, just, you know, blue, I call them and they always know what to say. Every day is summertime. Every day is summertime. Every day is summertime with you. In the summertime, I love going to the beach. Ew, that's so boring and cliche, but it's true. I love going to the beach because I live in LA and it's great. I really like cold drinks, right? Everyone loves a good cold drink, but when you drink a cold drink in the winter, it feels like morally wrong. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I shouldn't be doing this to myself while it's like 60, I love how I said 60 degrees as though that's super cold, but it is in LA. But yeah, as it's like super cold outside, I should not be drinking this. But in the summertime, you don't even think about it. You're like, yes, give me all the ice in the whole world. This is the best thing ever. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to drinking cold drinks again without feeling any sort of way about it. I'm actually more jealous of my boyfriend and my brother's friendship because they play video games like all the time, and it's really cute and also really annoying because like I'll come over to my boyfriend's house and he'll be like, hey, your brother says hi, and I'm like, text me. I haven't heard from you in like 2 weeks.